Alright, welcome to a short tutorial on how to get started on Google Sites. This has actually been created for our computer apps class for the final exam. However, if you stumbled across this, it may come in handy for you. Anyway, for those in my class, the first step, of course, you're probably going to want to go to Moodle to get the instructions for our exam. So I'm just going to go directly to Moodle. Go to My Courses. In the exam section, you will see, you'll want to go to the exam section, you'll see some instructions. And for this project, you are going to be creating then you're going to be building a personal website. So, the first step is you're actually going to have to create the site. For this, I think the easiest way for you guys to get there, you can either go to your Google Drive or your Gmail. When you get there, up in the top right, you'll see these little apps. If you go to apps and you can actually choose sites, you'll be able to create your own site on grchristian.org, your Google site on grchristian. So we're going to create a new one. The first step in this, of course, will be to give your site a name. Don't all call yours Computer Apps Exam. That's kind of boring. Either come up with a creative name or use your name, or if you're really desperate, I suppose you can use Computer Apps Exam. I'm just going to go Test Exam Site, whatever. I'm actually going to suggest that you start from a blank template, although if you want to choose a different template, you can, although sometimes these get a little bit tricky because they put things maybe not where you want to, and it gets a little harder to change it later. So actually, I do recommend starting with a blank template, but you might want to select a theme to make it look pretty. There's a whole bunch of them. Don't worry, you can always go back and change your theme if you want. For my sake, I'm going to do, let's do charcoal. Once you have that, there are more options, things that you may or may not want to put in, but you certainly don't need to. So let's create a site. The first thing that we're required to have on this is a total of 3 separate pages. I don't want a website that's just one page. I want one that's got 3 separate pages. While we wait for that to load, I'll talk a little bit about the 3 different types, 3 different pages. The first one's going to be like your home page, your personal information page. This website, you don't want to put personal information that you don't want out there, but you should, so don't include like your address or phone number, but you should have a link to your email or some other way for people to know who you are. You might put a picture of yourself on there. You can put a number of other things that you might want on your personal info page. You're going to have a page that's kind of about the things you like to do, hobbies and interests. So if you're really into basketball and you love the Chicago Bulls, I don't know why you would, but you might put some information about the Chicago Bulls, some pictures, talk about how you love going to games. If your hobby is video games and you love playing, I don't even know what games are popular right now. Halo. Anyway, you might put some pictures, a video of it, I'm not sure. But a few things to make your hobbies interest page. And then lastly, we need a page that kind of shows off some of your work that you've done in this class. So, throughout your website, you're required to have a number of things. The first thing you must have are 5 working hyperlinks. I'm going to show you how to do those, but you should remember how to make those look nice. So you say like grcs, not www.grcs.org. You need one example from each of the major units that we did, and you also need an embedded video, an embedded processing sketch, and at least 5 pictures. Now, any of these things can show up on any one of these 3 pages, but they do need to be somewhere on your website. So here's my website. So far it's pretty boring. I have one page. It's my home page. Any page that you have, you can click the edit button up here to edit it, to change the format, to add stuff. If you want to add a new page, well, that's conveniently right here. Add a new page. But let's start by editing this page. I'm going to call this Welcome to Tim's website. I don't know. Kind of boring, but whatever. On this page I might have a couple things, so I might want to insert an image. I can either upload an image or get one from online. That would count as one of my images. I might get something directly from my Google Drive account. So if you have your About Me paper, you could actually put it directly on here. In fact, let me grab a document from I'll just grab the instructions for this and I'll throw it on here. When you add something like this, I don't want a border, I don't think I want a title. Click Save. It'll actually put in this gray box, so it looks like nothing's there, but when I click Save, you'll actually see, wait for it, sometimes it requires lots of waiting. You'll actually see that document right on my web page, which is kind of nice. So you can actually put a document right on your web page. You could put your little About Me that you did at the beginning of the semester right here, and that would cover the requirement for a Google document, and it would kind of take care of a lot of stuff on your personal information page. So I'm going to jump to my I'll jump to my computer proficiency page. So I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to call it Computer Stuff. You should come up with a more creative name than that. I would recommend for this page probably doing a file cabinet. It's very similar, it just gives a nice easy way to upload documents. So I'm going to do a file cabinet, and I'll just put it at the top level so it's right next to my home page. So wait a second and it'll create a page. While I wait for that to happen, I'm going to actually go to openprocessing.org because you're all going to have to turn in a processing sketch, and you're going to have to embed it, and I kind of want to show how to do that. So I'm just going to go to my Christmas tree one. So on my computer stuff page, see I've got this little ability to quickly add files either from my drive or from my computer, and so if I'm trying to put some examples of my work up here, I can just quickly add those files. But I'm going to edit this page. I think the first thing I want to do is say this is an example of some of my work. First thing here is my processing sketch. Now I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to turn this word processing into a hyperlink. If you don't remember how to do that, you can go Insert Link, and I'm going to have it link to, not to one of my other pages on here, but I'm going to link it to a web address. So it's going to link to www.processing.org. And I'd like to check this box to make that link open in a new window. Not a big deal one way or another. I did that so that, one, if somebody was curious what processing was, they could go follow that link to processing, but it also took care of one more requirement that I had for this exam, which is hyperlinks. So I've got one of my 5 hyperlinks in. The next thing then is I want to put my processing sketch actually on my page. And you'll notice for Prezi, for YouTube, for Vimeo videos, for a lot of online content, you'll actually have the option to do this thing called embedding. And when you click on that, what it gives you is your HTML code that you can put into your website. So you've got to copy this code, and then on your website you actually have to toggle to HTML source code, and you'll notice you get some code. You get the words that you said, plus a little code making that into a hyperlink. You don't really need to know what HTML code is, but somewhere at the bottom here you're going to want to paste the code that you just got. I click update, and you'll see again you get this little gadget that's grayed out. But as soon as I save my work, waiting, it will actually put my processing sketch directly on my web page. So the sketch may not initially show up here, and that is really a problem with Java. Believe it or not, it is actually here. And to kind of prove it to you, and to prove it to yourself if you've done this, because some things don't load properly in different browsers. In this case, open processing sketches seem to show better in Safari. So if we go to that site in in Safari, you'll see that my website, Tim's exam site, Computer Stuff, actually does have my processing sketch. So my sketch is actually right there on my page. It's kind of nice. I can do the same thing. I can go back and I can edit this page, and I could also add a Prezi the same way. So I would I'd say this is my Prezi, and again, to kind of cover some of the requirements, I might highlight the word Prezi and insert a link and go to not to site pages, but to web address, and go to www.prezi.com. And now I've got another link in there, and right below here I could toggle, and you'll notice all that code that's in there, but at the bottom of it I could add in some embed code for a Prezi, and that would show up there as well. I'm not going to do that because you've already seen how to do the embedding, but it's the same process. You look for share, look for embed, and you'll be able to embed it. So at this point we've done a number of the requirements. I have a couple working hyperlinks. I've got a Google Doc on my main page. I can add a Google spreadsheet the same way I did the Google Doc, or I could add from LibreOffice. I can add my Prezi by embedding it. I could also add a video directly from, let's see, let's just edit this page here a second. I can add a video. I probably wouldn't do that on this page unless I was doing my Prezi one, but I could insert video directly from my Google Drive. If you did that assignment properly, you've uploaded it to your Google Drive, and you could just put it onto your account there. If you were wanting to add a video from YouTube, maybe on your hobbies page, you can actually just go and add a YouTube URL and put it directly in there, and it will embed the YouTube video for you. So at this point you've seen how to do each of these things. I guess the last thing I didn't show was explicitly was the picture, but again, you're just inserting an image, and when you do that you can do either an uploaded image or you can do it directly from a website. If you are uploading an image that's not your own, you should give citation if they aren't yours. Other than that, have fun with it. Make your website look nice. There's lots of things you can do for editing. You can change the layout of it. You can change, you can add a whole bunch of stuff. You can change the color of your text, size of your text, all the stuff you normally do. So I hope this helps, and have fun getting started creating your website.